For more than a decade, the Pentagon has been developing the world's most advanced fighter jet. The goal, to replace nearly every fighter in the U.S. military with the F-35. But cost overruns nearly doubled the price tag to almost $400 billion. National security correspondent David Martin, on assignment for Sunday's 60 Minutes, looks at the most expensive weapons program in history. He's in Washington with a preview. David, good morning.
Good morning. The Pentagon is counting on the F-35 to give American pilots control of the skies in any future conflict against the likes of China and Russia. But it is 7 years behind schedule and $163 billion over budget. Or, as the man in charge of the F-35 told us, basically the program ran itself off the rails.
Morning.
Lieutenant General Chris Bogdan is the man in charge of the F-35. And every morning starts with problems that have to be dealt with ASAP. This morning, it's a valve that's been installed backwards and has to be replaced.
How long does it take?
It's about a 7-day operation.
Okay. And now you know what I'm going to say next.
Yes, sir.
What am I going to say next?
You're going to say we're not going to pay for it.
That's right. We're not going to pay for it. Long gone is the time where we will continue to pay for mistake after mistake after mistake.
When Bogdan took over the F-35 program a year ago, it was behind schedule, over budget, and relations with the plane's manufacturer, Lockheed Martin, bordered on dysfunctional. How would you characterize the relationship between the Pentagon and Lockheed Martin?
I'm on record after being in the job for only a month, standing up and saying it was the worst relationship I had seen in my acquisition career.
These planes, coming off the Lockheed Martin assembly line in Fort Worth, cost $115 million apiece, a price tag Bogdan has to drastically reduce if the Pentagon can ever afford to buy the 2,400 planes it wants.
I know where every single airplane in the production line is on any given day. You know why that's important? Because Lockheed Martin doesn't get paid their profit unless each and every airplane meets each station on time with the right quality.
So if this plane doesn't get from that station to this station
on time with the right quality, they're going to lose some of their fee. You got to perform to make your profit.
They must love you at Lockheed Martin.
I try and be fair, David, and if they want what I call winner's profit, they have to act like and perform like winners, and that's fair.
Although the F-35 won't begin to enter service until next year at the earliest, pilots are already conducting test flights and training missions at bases in California, Florida, Maryland, Arizona, and Nevada. It's supposed to replace virtually all the jet fighters in the United States military. There's one model for the Air Force, another for the Navy designed to catapult off an aircraft carrier, and a third for the Marines, which seems to defy gravity by coming to a dead stop in midair and landing on a dime. After pumping an extra $4.5 billion into flight testing, the Pentagon now believes the F-35 program is under control and plans to start increasing the number of planes it buys each year. Still, the plane's software is behind schedule, and that's a huge problem because the F-35 is basically a flying computer using 24 million lines of software code.
David, it's incredible when you talk about the Pentagon trying to trim its budget, all the budget cuts that people in the military face with benefits. How do they justify what's essentially a $500 billion program?
They believe the F-35 is a game changer. In aerial combat, the plane that shoots first wins. So it all comes down to detecting the enemy before he detects you. And we had a Marine general tell us in one of our interviews that an F-35 pilot would be able to detect an enemy aircraft at up to 10 times the range it could detect him.
Wow. David Martin. Thanks, David. You can see David's full report on the F-35 Sunday night on 60 Minutes here on CBS.